Oh, hey friends, welcome to the vibes.
That was so good. That was so.
All right, y'all. It's the vibes. Y'all know how we get down. We got a few selections here. Some that may actually surprise you, but
What?
but bro,
I'm not
bro, about
surprised.
to, bro, about to get, but bro, about to get into it.
We're gonna kick it
Uh,
off first of all with the honorable mention.
yep, yep.
And the honorable mentions here, this is more like dishonorable mention. I
Mm,
just want to put it out there. Garth Brooks has been accused of sexual assault. Apparently, it's
mm,
not the first time, but
mm.
we be calling out all these, not just us, but the zeitgeist. We calling out all these black artists all the time on stuff like this. You know what I
This
mean?
is true.
Diddy is hemmed up right now, and
Yep.
you deservingly. We seen the
Mm,
footage,
mm.
you know. But like these white boys be getting away with some of this stuff
Oh, absolutely,
for a long
absolutely.
time,
Hmm.
and it's alleged. You know, put that for the record for the attorney. Shout out to you. You know what I mean? Allegedly, Garth Brooks being accused of sexual assault and battery and lawsuit from a hair and makeup artist who worked with him. The complaint filed in a state court in California on Thursday said that the incident happened in 2019. She claims she was once raped, raped. Shout out to the algorithm spotting that one. Uh,
I might have to bleep that one out when I'm editing.
right
So,
by by Brooks
mhm.
during a work trip. In addition to sexual assault and battery, the suit accuses Brooks of repeatedly exposing his genitals and buttocks, talking about sex and sharing sexual fantasies with her, regularly changing his clothing in front of her, and sending sexually explicit text messages.
Mm.
Um, dude is dude. They had one incident where like she was traveling with him, and she was like on a PJ with your boy,
Mhm.
and she's like, "Wait a minute, there's usually more people here. Like, why is it just you and me on this PJ?"
Mhm.
Get to the hotel. She's like, "What do you mean I don't have a room? You only booked one room? Just your? I have to stay in your room." Like, dude was really like, according to what she's saying, like really explicit with that joint.
Mhm. That's what it sounds like.
So she's suing him. She feels some type of way, but he's denying it. He's like, this is all BS and whatnot. Yo, Garth Brooks is like 62 years old now.
Yeah, he should be around that age. Yeah.
Damn, that fool been around for a while.
Yeah, Garbage been yeah for a minute for sure. Yeah.
And he's got a very loyal fan base, and
Mhm.
he's been like a staple in the country music scene
Mhm.
for a long time. When you amass that much power in the game, I wonder, absolute power corrupts
Corrupt.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I don't know if it's true, but fuck it. If we calling everybody else out, you know what I mean? He can get it too. Fuck him.
Mm.
Make him be an example for it. Moving right along. Um, a classmate introduces Owen to a mysterious late night TV show, a vision of a supernatural world beneath their own. I haven't heard a lot about this. I haven't heard a lot of people like um ranting and raving about this movie. It's called I Saw the TV Glow. Maybe it's just me because I'm a sucker for A24 and it's one of those productions.
Mhm.
but I I recommend it. I think it's very interesting. I think it is quite revealing in the commentary on a particular aspect of what's going on with folks in this society that it speaks to. It's one of these like magical realism type of shows, um, or type of movies. So it's billed as a horror, but it's more like a psychological thriller. There's some points where there are some like jump screams,
Mm-hmm.
but the movie is way more of an allegory than it is specifically like on some Freddy Krueger joint, right?
Okay.
Although it has some moments like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, it is slow paced, um, and it is quite abstract, but y- but it's a good movie. You know what I mean? Like, but you have to pay attention. It's a good movie. You have to pay attention. It's gotten terrible reviews. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's
I
got
see
some
it.
terrible reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you that much. But I think I think I think it's underrated. I think it's underrated. There's You have to like pay attention to it because like if you like are multitasking or if you're like distracted doing something else, some of the stuff can go over your head and you can lose the plot, right? Because it's that dense. It's a dense fucking it's a dense movie. It's A24 and they did not disappoint. If you're A24 fan, you're usually paying attention to the movie
Mm-hmm.
because you know that they have put in a lot of um intellectual resources towards greenlighting that movie.
Mm.
And they do not disappoint if you're paying attention to that joint. But you know, um, the movie does explore some heavy topics. So if you're not in the mind space for that sort of thing, I can see how it could be a turnoff.
Mm.
And but I think those are important topics.
Okay.
Talking about identity, talking
Mm-hmm.
about belonging, um, talking about finding your people, right?
Okay.
That rock with you.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this earlier when we talked like building a network, being a curator of human beings,
Mm-hmm.
birds of a feather kind of thing. Finding people that rock with you and like getting that support when you're not sure if you're not sure what reality is.
Mm-hmm.
Is your experience really reality, or is it the stuff that you're hearing and taking in, and the opinions and the judgment and the the finger wagging,
Mm-hmm.
or is that the reality, or is what I'm experiencing eternally reality? So it explores all kinds of stuff like that. If you're not into exploring that space in your gray matter in your head, then
Mm-hmm.
you might be like, oh, this is a trash movie. But I think it's a good movie, and I think it's very introspective. The other thing I wanted to jump into in the honorable mention is I want to just really shout out the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We got some new
Yeah.
inductees,
Yep.
and it's dope that Mary J. Blige, Cher, Ozzy Osbourne, like man, these are some names from like
Mm-hmm.
my era of
Mm-hmm.
growing up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're like that out like are obvious to me that like at this day and age would be inducted into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Cool in the Gang, A Tribe Called Quest. You talking to your
Took them
boy?
took them long enough. That's
It
crazy.
took them long.
Took
Exactly.
them long enough. That's crazy, bro.
Dave Matthews Band.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned it. I mean, like they're in the fame.
That's some.
They're in
I
the
ain't gonna
hall.
lie, that's some hitters, bro. You mentioned some hitters.
Foreigner,
Mm,
Foreigner. We talked about Foreigner. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
Australian band. Like they
Mm-hmm.
hits. Peter Frampton. That guitar though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's about that time that they all made it to rock. So shout out to them for making it finally
That's a good
getting
list.
inducted.
That's a good list.
That's a good
Very
solid
good
list. If
list.
you're in the class
Yeah.
of 2024 in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you're in good company.
That's a very good list. Yeah.
The last thing we want to mention in the honorable mentions,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, Liam Payne has died. You might recall him from the epic band One Direction.
That's so crazy.
The biggest name, like currently, is probably Harry Styles that y'all remember.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Styles has this career. He's going great. He's this individual. He's showing his authenticity and his individual nature, his style now,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a whole character. That dude
Mm-hmm.
is like a character from some like movie somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this is where he started in One Direction. Um, Liam Payne, uh, it was part of this group. They're English Irish pop band, boy group. You may not even realize that a good 5 7 years of your existence was them in the background of
Yeah.
you going through life. They was in the background playing.
Mm-hmm.
You were in an elevator somewhere. You were at a Starbucks somewhere. You were at a Target somewhere. Their music, that was them you was hearing.
Mm-hmm.
You hummed their songs on occasion.
Mm.
Even some of Liam's lines, they were just that ubiquitous. Like one of the most successful boy bands um of all time. It is
Yeah.
um it is unfortunate that he has died, especially at such a young age.
Yeah. He was
He
31.
was,
He's 31.
yeah, 31.
Mm-hmm.
He was on vacation. I think he was trying to work something out with an ex of his or something, or like a
Mm-hmm.
current partner, and they were there to try to like isolate and work on things intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always an advocate for that. But I don't know if I don't think things went so well, and there were reports that he was well, they called the police, and he was being belligerent, and clearly he was under the influence of something,
Yeah. They say he was under the influence. Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes back to his room. They don't have any reports of foul play, but he ended up being brain matter on the sidewalk outside his hotel from the third
Yeah.
floor. They
Yeah. He
say he
felt.
jumped. They
Yeah.
say he
Yeah.
fell.
They say he fell. They say he fell out of the third floor balcony, but it's regardless. Same result is
I don't know, man.
I
Like
don't know. There's a lot of
it
unknowns here,
sounds
but
it
it's
sounds a little bit, there's a lot of unknowns, but
yeah.
it sounds to me like that your man's was going through some distress. And it's not the first time we've heard of um some of these celebrities, some of these Hollywood stars and stuff are just like getting to their wits end and choosing a route of self-deletion.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's no sign of foul play, you're by yourself, your partner that went there with you had left like a couple of days earlier,
Yeah.
that could be a sign that things might have been over or something like that. It's all speculation. But for you to like build up the tolerance for inebriated type of behavior, getting drunk and drugged up, man, I'm gonna just say like this, man. We said it earlier. Check on your strong friends.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he was a strong friend to somebody specific, but it seems to be a surprise to everybody.
Yeah, apparently so.
So people might have thought he was good.
Mm-hmm.
Check on your strong friends. Check on these people that are carrying these burdens, that are going through things that you know they're going through, but you like, oh, they got it. They Gucci. Check on them.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. It could be that word of encouragement. It could be that little bit of breath of life that you breathe into them,
Yeah.
that they can continue their story
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't come to an abrupt end. R.I.P. Liam Payne. What up, fam? It's Darwin, the guy that was just talking. First off, thanks for watching and supporting the show. But I gotta give y'all some homework. Your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to interact with the show. That means 1, hitting that like button, because I know you like our stuff. 2, make sure you subscribe so we can swim our way up your timeline whenever we drop new content. The third thing, please share the channel with your friends. Maybe they'll learn a thing about a thing or two. Oh, last thing, we're over here talking about what y'all talking about. So go ahead and carry that conversation on into the comments. We be up in there too. Getting into the vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Switching rhythms. Power's Pleasant. The album is called Life Sucks. Damn it! We're supposed to be pivoting. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But yo, this album is actually really good. I enjoy this album.
Mm-hmm.
I hate sometimes when I be reading some of these reviews, man. They be like killing my vibe, bruh.
That's why you gotta listen to it first, babe, before you see the review.
No, that's what I did. It's the
Okay.
joint is bouncy. The
Okay.
joint is fun.
Okay.
It's been getting a hit or miss amongst like reviewers and like different spaces that put out content about, new releases and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So Pro Era is a Brooklyn hip hop collective. Joey Badass is the main person that most people recognize
Okay.
from Pro Era. Power's Pleasant is is the pu- is the is a an artist under this group, and he's delivered this sophomore album that is a blend of hip hop, R&B, um, and a whole other range of like diverse sound and instrumentation. This album is fun. It is it's got, so the first album was called Life is Beautiful. And this was called this one being called Life Sucks.
Mm.
But singer, songwriter, rapper, writer, songwriter, he like Powell's Pleasant. Um, he has a lot of features, which he had a lot of in the first album, and a lot of features now. And like again, I mentioned before, like I like it when like to know who these features are, because if I rock with some of them, then and they show me like they're stamping you,
Mm-hmm.
I can rock with that. Again, Joey Badass,
Yeah.
that's one. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Denzel Curry, big fan on Challenge Day. ASAP Ferg, big fan, right? Um, all those guests from Life is Beautiful make a resurgence. here in the album Life Sucks. I mean, it's a good album.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun album.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs is that Smoke. I posted that joint.
Okay.
Like it's got that just got that Jersey bounce to it.
Mm-hmm.
But is it's not it's not like I wouldn't say this is his magnum opus. I wouldn't say that. I'm not gonna gas it like that. There's
Okay.
clearly a drop off, a little bit of a drop off, a little bit of a drop off in the second half of the album, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as a total body of work, I give it a thumbs up. I think people should give it a try. I had a lot of fun listening to this record. Um, some of the tracks just pop out and get, I and you kind of know when that's coming because he has his producer tag. Um, got the beat from Powers and we just made a bang, or so like it's Powers Pleasant. This is what I mean, and
Okay.
he's a producer mainly, you know what I mean, and you know. But like I feel like some of the criticism is like really petty shit. Like this was like, oh, his producer tag is too long.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh, if Young Metro don't trust you, I'ma shoot you. Like that's not long. Like, but
That
like,
is
you know what I
pretty
mean? You don't
long.
never
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I guess Maybach music. Maybach music, that's pretty tight and like succinct.
Yeah. It's tight.
You know what I mean?
It's tight and concise. Yeah.
Tight and concise, but like still like, bro, that it sounds very petty if you're like picking on that sort of thing to like criticize it. Like, man, the joint rock, he got the album did start off kind of weird. It's like, yo, where's this going? Because he did go into like some like rock kind of shit. And I'm like, this is interesting. You know, like what's gonna happen here? And then like he goes back into his like thing. But it's not I don't think it's a I don't think he's just slapped the album together. I'm not getting that. So I would hope that folks would give the album a try. It's got some catchy hooks. It's very energetic overall. It's a strong addition to his catalog. Um, but I could still see where he needs some work to get you a full, complete body of work. But it's fun. Fuck it. Right? The next up is Munya, Jardin. This is an album actually from last year. You know, sometimes every once in a while, you know, I dabble into some past work. It's not always the stuff that just came out. And Munya is a unique blend of English, French, um, music, and even production and style. Dude, they remind me of. It's very close to L'Impératrice.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Remember L'Impératrice, Le Post?
Yeah.
They were singing French, English,
Yeah.
Italian. I think they might have some Russian in that joint, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is going to be mostly your French and English. They have it where the okay, because you have like a little bit of a psychedelic vibe that's going on, and it's a little bit of a funk flavor in addition to it, but it's very like artistic or like what is like like artsy. It's artsy.
Okay.
You know, and because of that artsy, they mainly are going for a vibe.
Okay.
And
It's just vibes.
the first three songs of the album, again, the album is called Jardin, right? Jardin. Jardin, if you read English, but it's Jardin, right? Means garden. You don't even have to really understand the words, but it's the vibe though.
Yeah, it's vibes.
It's the vibe though, man. Yeah, it's just rock out with Munya, man. The 2023 album. It's you know, it's a little bit older, but like overall, like, you know, when it came out, people was feeling it. People was digging it. And their distinctive style is reminiscent of L'Impératrice, but it's still unique, you know, to them. She's got like this like the soft voice, the lead singer there, you know, they're like you could like pick it in like a lineup kind of thing.
Okay.
All right. Moving on from there, we have October London. drops October Nights in October.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Can't tell me that boy wasn't planning.
All right. Clearly.
That boy was planning
Clearly.
ahead,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Yo, this is what we're gonna do. So we're doing.
Mhm.
We're doing this."
Mhm.
And this sort of like stays in the theme of what we've had a couple of weeks now. Where we've had like, when we talk about the Tyrese album, you know what I mean? We talk about the album Mutt, the two what was these dudes' name? The two Leons, right? Leon
Oh yeah.
Bridges and Leon Thompson, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Leon Thomas.
Mm.
Where that old Motown hit maker kind of like vibe and sound, these fools is back.
Mm.
We talking about all your Marvin Gayes, all your Smoking Robinsons, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? All your Al Greens and all that. Like, these sounds are coming back with a vengeance.
And this is
And
and the thing that's interesting about this album here is that it's legitimately like a full length album. They got 16 tracks on this joint.
that bit is, and it's
And it's almost an
legit
hour long. Yeah.
contemporary. It's legit traditional soul R&B.
Yeah. So
They're not
they
even
really
fucking around.
yeah, yeah, that means they really put a lot of time into it.
But
That's
how about
crazy.
this? How about this though? Even better.
Mm.
How about this to add another wrinkle to it?
Mm.
This is on Death Row.
Death Row, yeah. I just saw that.
Death
I
Row.
just saw that. That's crazy.
Snoop, Snoop bought Death Row
Yeah.
and switched up the game on y'all ass.
Switch that joint out. That's crazy.
Twisted up the fingers on them.
Snoop probably. I think Snoop might be onto something. I see what
Snoop,
he's trying to
and
do.
he's on some of them tracks.
Yeah.
That Snoop is like, I'll cop it and like reimagine Death Row.
Yeah.
Like even the title of the label itself is already like on some like hard shit. Already on some like gangster shit.
Yeah.
When you think of Death Row, that's what you think.
Yeah.
When you think of Snoop Dogg and his origin story, that's what you think.
Yeah.
But he's got this dude, October London, as his flagship artist. And that boy is producing and killing the R&B game.
So he probably it sounds like he found something.
Yeah. His real name is Jared Samuel Erskine. This is his sophomore album. It channels the vibes of Marvin Gaye, of course, with the variety and dexterity of somebody like Frankie Beverly.
I'm looking at his whole style is that. Like I'm looking at some footage of him at a New Year's party of him performing there. Like he is actually embodying that, what you're talking about. Like
yeah. I
like,
guess you could call him
he's
kind of like
embodying
the Michael Bublé of like black R&B, black music.
Yeah, he's definitely embodying it for sure. So
one thing very interesting is that he had Tyrese on one of his tracks. And remember, we had the Tyrese album.
Yeah.
And that song, Bedroom Bully. It's called Bully something.
Bedroom Bully.
Bedroom Bully.
That's what it looks like. It says here. Yeah, Bedroom Bully.
It's on both of their albums independently.
Oh.
And it fits completely in both of their albums. Somebody trying to gain the algorithm, I think. Yeah. But I'm just saying.
I see what they
it works though, because like Tyrese is not getting more spins when people playing this new album, October London's album, right?
Yep.
And October London was already getting spins on a quote unquote single when people was rocking with Tyrese's album. You know what I mean? I see the play, and I ain't mad at it. So we got 15 tracks, nearly all produced, mixed, and mastered by October London himself. So it seamlessly blends his traditional R&B sound with modern elements, showcasing his versatility as an artist who bridges genres. I don't know if it really bridges too many different genres, but he does like bring in those elements of some of the. You have what's this? A Dog Pound. Okay. That are in here. Dog Pound. You know what I mean? So like, okay, that's a little bit heavier rap. You know what I mean? That's in there. So there's not a lot of like heaviness of that, but like there's some samples and some background and some like ad libs and stuff that incorporates the West Coast sound in October London's music.
Okay.
It's very subtle, but it helps add that signature element
Yeah. Yeah.
to the sound, and it's dope. I love it. Bro, I've been listening to this album, so I think I've at least replayed the entire album at least 16 times minimum. 16 times. The entire album. And
Wow.
I don't skip a track.
Hmm.
I don't skip a track. There may be tracks that may
Okay.
be stronger than others,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't skip a track.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna and shout out to okay. So here's a couple songs I want folks to check out. Let me check out my. I'm gonna go to my playlist for this joint.
Mm-hmm.
Just a short. So we got. I need y'all to check out "A Beautiful Woman." Oh, it's a lot of love making, baby making music.
Oh well, yeah. Yeah.
This is the
I
traditional
can
R&B.
tell.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
love making and going on here, but it's a lot of
Mm,
like adoration as well too. It's just
mm,
like man, um like bigging up the woman that's important to you in your life,
mm,
right?
mm.
But there's some heartbreak also that goes on to it. But let's A Beautiful Woman, Third Shift. Third Shift is a regular man's track. It's like, yo, I'm working the graveyard shift late night kind of thing. Like I'm working paycheck to paycheck almost kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But they get a love song too.
Mm,
And for the woman that holds him down while he does that.
mm.
Right? Well, just do that. So that's a good dope one. Um Kill Shot. Recommend that one. Bedroom Bully, of course. That one's got probably like a million billion plays. There's a Mama song on there. West Coast. Shout
Okay.
out to, just you're gonna have your, dear mom, what I mean, Mama song.
Mm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that one's a really good song. If you have a mother, listen to this track, play it for them if they're still around. But if they're not around anymore, when you listen to this joint, you might want to get some tissue paper and just like prepare yourself,
Mm.
right? And the reception is dope. The Best Problem is probably my favorite track. The Best Problem. And this is the story of and the best problem, the story is like this person that you meet that you didn't expect to meet. You got things going on, bro. You got things to do.
Mm.
But this person is like so dope and so integral into what you envision your future story to be, and you're like, I gotta deal with this. I had to account for this person, and
Mm.
that's one of those good problems.
Okay.
The best problem, like you a problem. I can't freaking stay away from you. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Like you are so amazing. You are so dope. Like I didn't see you coming. I wasn't expecting you.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to do this whole other thing, and now I have to factor in you
Yeah.
because you are consequential.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to October London, man. Like these songs, these tracks are like freaking amazing. The writing is dope. And so that's your inspiration for the weekend, man. Get you some October London in your life. The album again is called October Nights. Next up, I have Phantogram, Memory of a Day. Oh, I've been waiting. I've been waiting so long for a new Phantogram album. These fools like are legit on it. We're not dropping for every 3-4 years.
Mm.
They're not doing that joint where they're like we're gonna curate our sound. We're going to you're gonna have to eat off of whatever we had before. Maybe we do some shows, catch us live. But in terms of new music, I hadn't gotten new music for Phantogram in so long. The first time I heard them was this track called "Running from the Cops." That spoke to me. It's called "Running from the Cops." I was like, say more, right? Uh, that was an amazing album there. But they came out with this joint. It's called "Memory of a Day." Um, it's so far it's been received pretty well
Okay.
in the music community and folks that consume the sort of indie pop. They were a little bit more electronica, not funk, maybe like electronica bass
Mm-hmm.
with the earlier stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they generally in this album, and they kind of had this kind of vibe before. It was like they build their sound ends up being like dreamy and like a landscape and like big. It's almost like when we talked about Coldplay and the way they produced their music to be like um anthem, like stadium rock,
Mm-hmm.
anthematic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Phantogram kind of does that sort of thing. It's like it's all pop rock, but it's like epic alt pop rock,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be big. It's gonna be your best experience is to play it loud. Wherever you listen to it, play it loud. Play it in your headphones loud, in the kitchen
Mm-hmm.
loud, in your car loud. Go to a live show. This album is gonna be amazing in a live
Mm-hmm.
show.
Mm-hmm.
It starts off kind of wild,
Mm-hmm.
but it's setting a stage. Is what it's doing. There's a lot of guitar. There's a lot of the guitar in that's going on with this entire album. Um, it is a little bit of their experimental side because this guitar. What I mean when I say that is that it leans more rock, right? It
Mm-hmm.
leans more rock than it does pop.
Okay.
Whereas a lot of the earlier stuff would be leaning like it would still incorporate elements of rock and alt rock, but it would be like, oh, this is pop. The bass lines you could throw it in your whip, and you could beat down the block with some of the earlier stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the bass is way more muted in this project. I don't know if it's I don't know if I would call it an evolution, but it's different. It's experimental. I don't know if it because the thing is if it's an evolution, that means, oh, this is where we're going with it from henceforth. And I don't know if I want that. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
I do want them to grow. I want them to experiment with like a new sound, and then like we're gonna experiment with the sound for a little bit, and then in our next project, as we grow, we're gonna show you how we incorporate that into what we do, what our identity is. So I'm cautiously optimistic of their capability to do that, but I could definitely see people being like, "Yo, this ain't Phantogram. This ain't Phantogram.
Mm-hmm.
Like this ain't the Phantogram that I know.
Yep.
This is a
Yep.
completely different band." Some
Mm-hmm.
people could see that, but I think I could see the steps of that ladder, that rung, to
Mm-hmm.
get them to this space, giving them grace to be able to like rein it back in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good album, but it's I mean my favorite album is their debut album, the first movies, eyelid movies. Th- That's what Running from the Cops was on that joint,
Yeah. Yep.
and that was amazing. But that really leaned into like the like Daft Punk, you know what I mean? A lot more harder bass lines. Um, that's the identity of them that I grew to love, and I'm hoping that this is just dabbling in this realm, and then they can kind of get back into that in the next album. But the thing is, with these motherfuckers, is like every 4 years. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not even. It's gonna be what is it? 2028,
Yeah.
maybe 2027. They might drop something.
Mm-hmm.
Before I get something else from them. So I hope they pick up the cadence. But this is what we're gonna have to sit with until then. And you better fucking enjoy it. I think people will grow to enjoy it as they get along.
Mm-hmm.
Last album up. Shout out to GloRilla.
Oh my God, bro.
She's doing her thing. Album is called Glorious.
Mm-hmm.
This is her debut studio album. And this Interscope Records. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
of course, it's a
Interscope.
major distribution label. You know.
She's gonna have major distribution, she's gonna have major
Yep.
like backing, and this is like she can be like the new age face of Interscope.
I mean,
Last time we
definitely got the
talked
wave.
about, she's on, bro. I think she is a wave.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
she's not on a wave. She is a wave.
She's hot. She's just hot.
But I think she can do the thing. She does the thing. She is a rapper.
Can she rap? Has a like? Do you think she could rap? Like actually rap?
I think she could rap. Nicki Minaj can rap.
Yeah.
We have a history of knowing Nicki Minaj rap, and I'm just doing that not to compare her to a female rapper, but because that's like the easiest barrier of entry for people to know. Like, boom, you name a female rapper that can rap, Nicki Minaj, right? Missy Elliott, right? Rhapsody. I think that we completely discount some of these women rappers just because they talk about some raunchy shit. When these niggas be talking about raunchy shit, but we'd be like, yo, they spitting. And we just dismiss the raunchy shit that they talk about. I think GloRilla's on a little bit of a different wavelength where like, she's like, oh yeah, I could lean into the raunchy shit. Just like these niggas be talking like these low vibrational stuff. But I can also like, I could spit some hot fire. And I could also get introspective. I could also get like meaningful. Like Doechie's album, which was amazing, which could win. I think is it best female? Is best female rap a different category? But like Doechii could compete for like best rap album. But bro, overall.
But this is the complaint that I think most people have though, with a lot of female rappers though. It's like for them to get on, they gotta be on. It's like they always elect to. I mean, it's how Lil Kim got her start, Foxy Brown got her start. It has to be super raunchy. Like for them to get the notoriety.
But I don't think GloRilla's super raunchy though.
So, bruh.
Bro, she's not okay. Last time we talked about
her the notoriety that she got out the gate. Yes, bro.
She's not on the level. She's not on the level of raunchiness when it comes to Sexy Red.
That's true. But I'm saying what got her popping was when she was on that type of time, and because she had that wave,
got her popping was a song called FRF.
Yes,
no, FNF.
Yes,
nigga free.
That's a wild song, bro.
But no, it's not a wild song. It's like, no, this dude is a whack dude, and I am free of him.
Have you seen the music video
for that one?
Yes, for FNF.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on, Jeff. Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me you thought that was the did you see WAP?
Yeah, that was wild too.
No, dog. That one was like, these are some girls in a parking lot having fun. There's some twerking.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Nobody had a thong on.
Here you go.
No thongs. You saw a remnants of a cheek. Somebody was twerking.
Bro. That was probably the most. I mean, whatever you want to call it crime. It's probably the most ratchet thing I've ever seen.
It's ratchet
in my life.
Okay, I'm not I didn't dispute that. You changed it up. You see how you be moving the goalposts?
No. I'm not moving the goalposts.
Raunchy.
No, I'm not moving the goalposts because it also was raunchy. It also was raunchy.
It was minimal raunchy.
Oh my gosh,
it was minimal raunchy,
bro. That joint was raunchy and ratchet, bro.
That bit was ratchet. I'll give you that. Dog, there was like,
oh my god,
a remnants of a cheek.
Bro, I literally wanted to throw up. Like I literally wanted to throw up. I was like, this is wild. This is what when I saw WAP, I was like,
okay,
this is wild.
Okay. First of all, okay.
Come on.
Let me say, okay, fine. You know what?
Come on.
Let me draw back a little bit. FNF is probably not the best example when it comes to
you think
how good GloRilla is.
But this is what I'm saying. I'm saying like she obviously used that to leverage her career, but like it's obvious she did.
Okay.
And now she's transitioned to something else. Okay, I got you.
No, not transition. But we're back on the same page. We're back on the same page.
Okay.
And saying this, she's insightful like that. She has to do that. She does that kind of stuff. I feel like she knows she has to do that kind of stuff to be like, okay, let me scratch that itch to be relevant, to be popping, to be like, in the conversation that's going on with like these people that are popping like that. But also kind of like, I'll also use this opportunity to be authentic, to be introspective. Bro, she has a whole song talking about how she's talking to her girlfriend. This is this empowerment, this woman empowerment thing. She's talking to her girlfriend. She's like, this dude that you crying over, that you are being abused by, that you are better than, that you are a queen. You my best friend, and like that dude don't deserve you.
Is this another man bashing album?
Nope.
Okay.
That track, but what I'm saying is like, for all the raunchy shit, you know, the raunchy stuff is gonna be like, how can I sell my vagina?
Yeah.
How can I get how can I get currency in exchange for my vagina, or the equivalent of whatever that currency may be? A bag, a vacation, a house, whatever it is, because my vagina is so and so and so, the best in the tri-state area. There's a lot of that we're getting from,
but it is yeah, it's
this is what we get from pussy rap.
Yeah, it's commonplace. Yeah.
So she does some of that for just like the radio spins, but it's not man bashing. She's empowering and self-indulgent in the album, which it'll be a man to be like, oh, you're not censoring me. That's on you, bro. This is an album for her and her friends. Just like FNF was it was all women in that video. Even though they might be talking about a dude, but they're like we are, they're pouring drinks onto each other. They're throwing cash onto each other, and it's just all women. One of the women is pregnant, which is probably one of the ratchet points that you're talking about on that. But that was FNF. But either way, there is a message of empowerment under there that is in and of itself, enveloped in and of herself.
Yeah,
outside of a man.
I recognize that. Yeah, that's, if you're paying attention, you can see that. I'll be honest, I recognize that.
Now, with that said, she does have a foundation and a history in the church.
Yeah, she does,
and
which I respect.
She
has some foundation. She has some foundation in, so I have to.
The foundation in church, and so this we've been dancing around this subject matter for a while, and it's not that we've been dancing around it purposefully, but we have not identified it specifically.
Okay,
and it's the term secular Christianity.
Okay.
In this specific instance, we can distill it even further down to hip-hop Christianity. And I will go ahead and coin that term. You heard it here first.
Secular Christianity is not even a term that I've even heard put together.
This is why we're introducing it. This is what we do. This is our job here, Challenge Day.
Okay.
To challenge your way of thinking and introduce some new concepts to add a dimension to it.
I've heard it in the context of like lukewarm Christians, right? Like living a secular lifestyle. So that's what immediately registers in my mind, like someone who's like lukewarm. But I'm
different.
But I'm curious to hear what your take on it is. But go ahead.
Secular Christianity is a perspective that acknowledges the reality of the secular age and works within it. It can also refer to a variety of Christian theological movements that have merged in response to dissatisfaction with the Christian establishment. Okay. It's a movement that rejects the concept of a personal God and views Jesus Christ as a mythological figure. It also suggests that the church does not have exclusive rights to divine inspiration. I think I identify, I can relate with secular Christianity. I think a lot of times we talk, you and I, and just throughout the podcast for different instances, and it's become self-evident that like a lot of times some of the positions that I take or some of the framework in which I dissect a problem or an event is through the lens of my background. I grew up in a church.
Yeah.
And there's some things I take it, some things I leave it. Like there's like this this anchor point. It's like this reference point. And I have to consciously be aware of, okay, that's what that's coming from. And you have to make a decision if you like agree with that perspective or you like something like the golden rule, do unto others as you have them do it to you. You know what I mean? Or even like thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or even something like the story of the Good Samaritan. Some of these stories, they still speak to me. They still have a foundation where the message that they are portraying resonates with me.
Yeah.
Secular Jew is a term that I think more people are familiar with. There's a lot of Jewish people that are not like on all of this like specific Sabbath thing and like, you know, reading the Torah and doing, but they're like, but culturally, they're Jewish. They eat certain foods, they observe certain holidays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They approach life from a certain angle. That's what it would mean to be secular Christian.
Okay.
And with GloRilla having Kirk Franklin on the same album, where she later talks about
Kirk Franklin's a weirdo.
How she's dickmatized. On the very next track, she mentions her being dickmatized. Right? Like right after Kirk Franklin is on the previous.
Not only Kirk Franklin, Kiera Sheard and Maverick City. Yeah, I'm not a fan of like these crossovers that I see when this happened, because this has been happening more often.
Kirk Franklin may be like, yo, I gotta go get the sheep where the sheep at. Maybe
Kirk Franklin has been doing questionable things for a while anyway. So that to me is not surprising with Kirk Franklin. He's a bit of a weirdo, but there are crossovers that I'm not really fond of. Like there was a crossover one time with Nicki Minaj and Tasha Cobbs, and I was like, I understand the motivation. Like I understand the motivation, but I still don't like it. Like it's there's still something in me that like it still doesn't sit well with me fully, right? But I understand the motivation though, because at the end of the day, the people that we encourage to come to church are people who are like sick people.
Come as you are, right?
Come as you are. Like, right? Yeah, these and like the gospel is really the gospel for real when you go into the world and you're preaching it, right? And you're being that example, right? That's really where you truly see the power of God. So it's like, yeah, you have to go to where the sinners are. You have to go to where the people who are not living right are. So I understand. So that's why I say I understand the motivation, right? But there's like
7 p.m. Friday. I agree. I ain't got no day.
I'm just like, bro. So when because of course this has been like a topic that people have been talking about in the Christian circle, like, because we are aware of this track, right? So like, yeah. So I was just like, there's still a part of me that like it's just something that just doesn't really sit right with me when I see some of these crossovers. But again, like I said, I understand the motivations, and that's just kind of like where I conclude on that matter. So, but that's all I got to say about that.
That's where it's at. Yeah. But all that to say that don't take GloRilla lightly. Even
that's why I asked you, do you think she can rap, like rap? And you said she can rap, so I don't know, man. Because I
think she can rap. I think mommy's coming from Tennessee. From Memphis.
Yeah, Memphis got rappers. Yeah, Memphis got rappers. So she should
got some rappers.
Yeah,
and she is representing Memphis heavy.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. I don't know, bro. I'll take your word for it though.
How about this?
Okay.
For context and for historical value, I've always mentioned how when you look at some of the album covers, you can look at the album cover and be like, oh, they're just trying to sell sex.
Mhm.
They're just trying to sell sex.
Mhm. I see where you're getting at. I already see where you're getting at.
Look
But
at
go
her
ahead.
album cover, dog.
Yeah. I peeped that. Actually. I was like, I can respect that actually. That's respectable.
That bitch is basically a glamour shot. It's a glorious
it's
shot.
a headshot. Yeah, it's a just a headshot. Yeah.
And look close at the earring.
Yeah, I see the cross there and all that. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious.
And off of a shot, not an explicit cross.
Yeah.
But like an abstract cross that's there.
Mm-hmm.
I think she did that intentionally. I think she did that on purpose. I think we need to take GloRilla seriously. That album, everything. Her mixtape. That was a dope mixtape. And I think this is just more like this album Glorious is more like a refinement of it. It's
a lot of people say that this is actually her best work.
I think she should be taken seriously.
She low-key, she's been getting some really good reviews for this album. So like, I'm like, maybe, I don't know. She might be the real deal. She might be the real deal.
It's not, and I'm not saying this is a Christian rap album. I'm not saying
yeah. It's not because I don't like I said, I don't really listen to this type of music, but I can respect like if you getting busy
rapping, dog,
and you rapping, like I can respect that. Yeah. I can respect talent if the talent is really there for it. Like if there's real legitimate talent, I can respect.
And the interesting thing is that she's not on like specifically like a Rhapsody kind of conscious rap kind of thing.
She's from Memphis. I wouldn't expect that, honestly.
You know,
Memphis has they have like a
gritty.
They're gritty, yeah. That's just they're
gritty.
So that's kind of what I expect from Memphis, yeah.
And she holds down that legacy. They can be proud. The Memphis rappers that that came before can be proud that they got them one. You know what I mean? And GloRilla is that one. She's a tiny little thing.
Yeah, she's tiny. She's 5 foot. She's
tiny little thing.
Yeah,
freaking like speaking some heft into the game.
When people think of Memphis, one of the first people that come to mind is Project Pat. Like we all know Project Pat was like Project Pat is a Memphis legend. Like he hard, and now he's a pastor. like a legit full like he's a pastor for real. Like this is from the gutter Project Pat. Like so it's kind of interesting. Like it's but the thing, even with Project Pat, people know that but he also was like a guy who was, the church was a big thing in his life. Like we knew that about Project Pat. So I mean, you might be
every once in a while you run into one of those, like, man, I was talking about Lil Yachty, you know what I mean? I never thought I would fucking be into Lil Yachty.
Yeah.
Until I realized that musicians can come up from any freaking like concrete. That rose can rise up.
They really come from anywhere, for real.
They really come from anywhere, and you just gotta you just run into them, dog. You the lucky one. You run into them, like, oh snap! Like I wouldn't have thought, like, especially in the environment of a lot of what Megan Thee Stallion leads into. Even though I think she's a good rapper too, but like sometimes she's like really leaning more into just like, I'm just trying to get the bag, so I'm just gonna do like the easy thing.
That girl is extra raunchy, bro.
You got of course, like I keep mentioning this fucking Sexy Red.
Yeah, that girl.
Some of these like what do you call them? These what the hot girl summer thing?
The City Girls, yeah.
City Girls.
Yeah, they just,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and some of the stuff
they're glamorizing
they
prostitution.
So it's like that's really what they do, and it's like there's some of these artists out there, especially when it comes to female artists, like when it comes to rappers, that are still like, I think Lauryn Hill would endorse GloRilla. I think she would endorse GloRilla.
Come on, bro. You gotta chill, bro. Come on, bro. Like, Lauryn Hill would endorse Rhapsody, but GloRilla, bro.